Hello, farmers, and welcome back to another episode of the harvest season. My name is Cody,
And my name is Spencer.
and we are here today to talk about cottagecore games. Oh,
Woo.
woo! Spencer, this is our first main episode. Um, this is pretty cool.
Yeah, this is the first time I've been on an episode with you.
You're kind of a cryptid, like you're here for like the cool dinosaur stuff,
hmm
you know?
I mean, I am in the NorCal, Pacific Northwest, so very Bigfooty. Like you see
Hmm.
me walk by the tree, and you're like, "Was that Spencer?" And then maybe
Yeah.
stuff. I'm also just as hairy too, not quite as
Oh,
tall.
okay,
Yeah.
cool. I'm from Oregon. I don't know if you knew this.
Oh, okay.
I'm in Pennsylvania right now, but I'm from
hmm
Oregon, but I don't think I could be mistaken for Bigfoot, so it's fine.
Oh.
But mostly I'm actually interested not less in Bigfoot and more in the Pacific tree octopus. Do you know about
hmm
that?
I do not enlighten me. I love cryptids, so
So
this is.
that's my favorite cryptid. It's just
Mhm.
talks about how it, because it rains so often in the Pacific Northwest, there's so much moisture that there's an octopus that lives in the tops of trees in a lot of the temperate forests in
Mhm.
Oregon. So it just lives up in like the conifers.
Oh, okay.
And that's my cryptid that I think of. I've learned like because I moved to Pennsylvania and then people were like, "Oh yeah, Bigfoot's here." And I was like, "What? You trying to take my cryptid?" Like,
No, I'm sorry. You from Oregon, me from NorCal, we can't let them have that.
no.
Skunk ape, sure, you guys can have skunk ape. I don't care, whatever.
Skunk Ape, they got Mothman, they got
Whatever.
New Jersey Devil, they got all this stuff. Like, keep your own stuff. Sasquatch is ours. Thank you.
Yeah,
Um, but we are here to talk about something else. And
with
that
also big hairy feet.
Yeah. We're finally here to talk about Tales of the Shire. But not big. Just
Oh,
like
yeah, I
it's a
guess that's true.
short, they're pretty short.
Well, proportionally big feet.
Proportionally big feet, correct. But a smaller cryptid. I don't know. I was gonna try and make a joke about Silk Song that we were here today to talk about Silk Song because in the last episode, I didn't listen to the full episode, but I specifically looked to see if Silk Song was mentioned, and it was barely mentioned at the end. And they specifically were talking about how would we have a Silk Song episode before a Tales of the Shire episode because this episode kept getting delayed. Um, but that's like, stuff happens and we had to switch people around and it's whatever.
Mhm.
But we are here now. We are going to be talking about it. It's going to happen. Before that, we're going to talk about game news. This is our recap of I Know What You Released last month. So we're going to talk about all the things that were released last month specifically. But before that, Spencer, what have you been up to?
Well, I've been focusing mainly on one game, DK Bonanza. I got the Switch too.
Woo!
I played through the main story, and I don't know if I'm going to go back to do 100%, to be 100% honest.
Okay.
Um, I am a huge DK fan,
Mm-hmm.
so I had very mixed feelings about this game. I know a lot of people were excited. I don't want to spoil anything for people
Mm-hmm.
that haven't played it yet. A lot of people were kind of excited both about the gameplay and the kind of the end, so to speak, like the
Mm-hmm.
ending act.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I wasn't so much so. Uh, I don't know if you know me personally, feel free to ask my
Mm-hmm.
thoughts on it. Again, spoilers because it is major spoilers for the game.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I was kind of this feels weird,
Mm-hmm.
And then the game itself, it very much plays which makes sense. I think the Odyssey team made it, if I remember correctly. But it just kind of to me plays like something that a Mario team put together and then decided to slap Donkey Kong on. So it was
Mm-hmm.
kind of that's my rating of the game. Out of five.
Okay.
I had fun playing it. Don't get me wrong. I definitely had fun playing it. There were definitely so many things that I did really enjoy.
Hmm.
I absolutely loved the characterization between Donkey Kong and young Pauline. Like
Hmm.
that was so adorable. They did her so well. I like cannot go back to old Pauline now, like adult Pauline, like her as
Hmm.
a teenager, her like being goofy and like, you know, just just making fun of Donkey Kong and stuff like that was perfect in my opinion. And I do think there's something to be said about games that have characters that ride on other characters' backs. I don't know
Hmm.
why that's a trope, but like, Banjo-Kazooie or
Yep.
Kazooie, like in the backpack, yeah, and Ukulele, where is it Laylee? That's the one, the bat? I don't remember.
Oh, I
But
don't remember.
yeah, just that weird trope of characters and like the secondary character is riding on the back is
Hmm.
appealing to me. So that was kind of cute.
This
But
all
yeah.
this also gives like giant smashy guy with a tiny girl, like very Wreck-It Ralph as well.
Yeah, very Wreck-It Ralph vibe. Yeah, yeah. I mean, the whole game's about smashing, which is again
Hmm.
odd to me because yeah, I know Donkey Kong's strong, but also Donkey Kong swings through the trees, not
Yeah.
digs in the ground. So whatever.
Yeah.
It was fun. I enjoyed my time with it, but I don't know if I'm going to come back to it for at least a
Mhm.
little while. So, what
Another
have you?
thing, well, so
Oh,
before we get to me, another thing,
uh-huh.
I don't think you've been on the pod for a hot minute. So I would
No.
love to get your thoughts about ZA.
ZA. Oh, we just got new information on ZA recently too, huh?
I
Mega
don't,
Halucha, I believe. I don't.
oh,
Am I not supposed to date this episode with this?
no, no, you're fine. I,
Okay, I'm fine. Okay, okay.
yeah.
I think a day or two ago, Mega Halucha from recording this was
Oh, yeah, it was 2 days
just
ago.
released. Yeah, I love the design. I know I went on a rant with some of the people we know about Mega Halucha being like from basically like Pokemon's France universe versus like
Hmm.
or universe like France versus like having a Latin America like
Yeah.
Pokemon Mexico and having it be there, but the Pokemon itself absolutely love. Super
Hmm.
cool. I was like a so-so fan of Hawlucha, and then like just
Hmm.
the more I see Hawlucha in general, I'm like more a fan of it.
Hmm.
So seeing the Mega was like super cool. Um, the game itself, I don't know. I don't know like what. I'll be honest, like I haven't been too like excited for a Pokemon thing in a while, right? Like
Hmm.
I mean, I still like Pokemon. I still enjoy playing the games.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just, it's a game. It's coming out soon. I'm
Yeah.
sure I'll probably buy it. I'm sure I'll enjoy it when I play it for a little bit. I did enjoy Legends, like the
Hmm.
original Legends. So if it plays at least even remotely like that, I'm sure I'll enjoy it a lot more than Scarlet and Violet.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah, I'm not that excited.
mhm.
I've also kind of been like getting out of like some of the Pokemon. I like to play the newer games to see what bug Pokemon they have or like how they might have changed some of the things, some of the smaller mechanics or whatever.
Mhm.
But it might just be something I stream from now on.
Yeah, I don't know.
So,
It's weird.
okay. I was just because I know that we know you from the Pokemon crew, so
Hmm.
wanted to get your opinion.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I have been up to,
Uh-huh.
this last, so I haven't been on for a few months or a few weeks, and uh, just a lot has been going on. So I had just gotten back from Arizona, um, and then I also my mom visited, and then I went to Kentucky to identify some bees with a colleague. Right before I went to Kentucky, I got married.
Oh,
So
wow.
we literally,
Congratulations.
thank you. We literally just got like the rings and then went and did the paperwork, and that was it. We didn't really want to do like a wedding or anything.
Mm.
So that is like, it's funny because it's one of those things I was putting like, what have we been up to? And then I was like, oh, I maybe five or 10 minutes after I wrote down what I'd been up to, I was like, oh, I should probably mention that like this, it's kind of supposed to be like a big life event, but we're both like, we've both felt like, we knew that ever since we did have some issues a while ago, but like ever since we reconnected after those and we figured out what our issue was and and we just know that we are each other's people. Um, yeah, I we've been like, yep, this is it. So it's not doesn't change much except for like legally and financially, I guess. Um, but I've also just like this last week been really doubling down on my research. So I don't have time to play anything that has like a story or anything right now.
Hmm.
So I've mostly been playing like Fortnite. A new season dropped, and my roommate and I play that where he'll play around while I'm like doing work on my computer, and then I'll play around, and we'll do that for like maybe a half an hour, 45 minutes every night.
Yeah.
I've also gotten back into Minecraft with my best friend Devin. Um, we are building a castle right now. That
Hmm.
is what they wanted to do. So we're building a castle. Clearly, I played Tales of the Shire, and I mean, you also played. You didn't mention that you played Tales
Oh
of
yeah, well,
the Shire.
yeah,
Okay, good. And then also, I've been watching Jeff play Hollow Knight. Have you ever played Hollow Knight?
I have not played Hollow Knight. I feel
Okay,
like I've heard enough to have played Hollow Knight from people in our community, but I
right.
have not myself played Hollow Knight.
Okay. Yeah. So just I felt like on a whim, I just wanted Jeff to play Hollow No reason in particular. But so, and I mean, like, because I kind of want to play it again, but I don't have the time. I have
Mhm.
stuff to do. So I was just like, can you play it? And I can watch you play it. And then it can be like I played it. And that'll probably be how we do it going forward for the next thing, which means we're jumping into the game news. And I would like to point out, Al did not put this in here.
Oh, how could you?
I mean he could debate that Silk Song, which we can now name because it has a date, you guys.
It's right around the corner too.
Literally, oh my gosh, would it be it's like a couple days after this comes out, actually. This is wild. Um, but now that it has a date, like they just shadow dropped the date. They were like, here's a cool trailer. Also, it's coming out in like 2 weeks. And we were like, ah. Um, And I guess it's not a cottagecore game. I know, but it fits in. It belongs here. This is a safe space for Silksong. Um,
I
this is
don't know what
also
people on the internet are going to do once this game drops because it's been how many years of it being like, oh, it's
like
coming.
like 8 or something. Um, I want to say 2015, but I don't know if that is right. Might have been later. Might have been like 2017, 2018. But it's been a hot minute.
Hmm.
That we finished, Hollow Knight came out, the end of the Hollow Knight, like extras and updates and whatever came out. And then we were just kind of sitting here and then they were like, oh, another one. And so Silksong follows Hornet, who is one of the characters from the game Hollow Knight. And she is pushed into this other world called Farloom, I think it is. And it's supposed to be a world that's enshrouded in silk and song, I guess, which is why it's called Silk Song. So it finally got announced, which they could have mentioned that the last episode. They kind of hinted that it was out, it was coming out, but they didn't say. So September 4th. Also, GameStop leaked that it's probably only going to be $20. I don't think Team Cherry understands what capitalism is.
$20 doesn't seem like much for a game that's been in development for 7 years.
That like people are clamoring for
That yeah,
that other games foreshadowing are delaying their releases because of um like I mean I get it, like they, this is how much they probably always wanted to charge and stuff like that, but I feel like they could have made this game $80 and people still would have done it. Like without complaining. They would have been like, yeah, fair. They probably would have done it.
yeah.
Uh, but I'm loving the like the vibe, the hype around it. A lot of the like reels I've been seeing that are Silk Song, that kind of thing. And I just loved this article that I saw on MSN that just said even more games are moving out of Silk Song's way. And one of the quotes they gave of one of the games was, "I feel like a little krill trying not to get eaten by a blue whale."
I saw you link this article and I was like, man, that especially like the shadow drop date is like
Yeah.
that just sucks if you're a game that's like, oh man, big release September 4th coming up,
Like,
and then
oh, we're so
Silksong's like,
excited to
psych.
release. Yeah. Completely, totally unrelated, nothing to do with what we just said. Cough, cough. Little Witch in the Woods, is delayed.
Whoa, look at that.
No, and it is straight up because of Silk Song. They say it in their release date change notice. Their release date was September 4th. It is now September 15th. In the thing, they talk about how development has taken longer than expected, but they have so much gratitude, and for their community, and they're so excited, and that they've been investing a lot of time. There's been a lot of support through early access. But, quote, recently, we finally announced with excitement the release date of the full version. However, shortly after our announcement, we learned that Hollow Knight Silk Song, a highly anticipated new title of a masterpiece in the gaming industry, can confirm, is launching on the same day. Silksong is a game we look up to with awe as developers and eagerly anticipate as players. Given its immense influence, we fear that launching Little Witch in the Woods on the same day would not only dishearten our dedicated team, but also disappoint our devoted artists. Which, you know what, fair.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, like for both games, right? You want to
Mm-hmm.
give the game that's been in development uh limbo forever
Mm-hmm.
like its time. But then also like, I've had plenty of instances where two games that I really wanted to play came out right around the same time and you
Mm-hmm.
just end up choosing. Sometimes life
Yeah.
gets in the way and you're like, well, I never got around to that other game.
Mm-hmm.
So giving some breathing room seems like, you know, sorry, little witch, excuse
Little
me,
Witch in the
sorry,
Woods. Yeah.
Witch in the Woods fans, but just gotta wait a little bit longer. But I'm
Yeah.
sure that'll give you time to play both games.
But I can also understand it from their perspective, how they say that, it would disappoint them as a dev team too. I mean, you've been doing all this stuff and you just happen to accidentally release on the same day as this absolute behemoth. And so, and that any, the release date, the amount of sales they would get on the release has nothing to do with people's excitement for Little Witch in the Woods. It's literally just because there's this giant thing, that is just going to take over a lot of people's lives. So I super get it. Good for you, Little Witch in the Woods. Take that extra time. They said that they're going to continue to use that time to work on the game and deliver Little Witch in the Woods in a highly polished form. But I also have to shout out this picture that they drew. That is, it's the Little Witch fallen. Her broom is broken. There are broken like flasks around her, and there's like a little screaming mandrake looking tree that's like scooting away from the shadow that is Hornet. like Hornet is just looming over these two.
It is very good.
I love it.
Even the hat's like all sad
Yeah, the
too. Like,
hat's also sad. Oh, so cute. Um, but let's just keep on that theme. Starbirds. Starbirds is a birds going to space and colonizing things, sim type game. And they posted this thing that says evasive maneuver. EA release moved, so early access release moved to September 10th. Starbirds delayed to September 10th to avoid Silksong collision. And then they also drew a cute little thing. And it's like, Captain, look, and it's pointing at this asteroid, what looks like an asteroid, and the asteroid is in the shape of Hornet's head. And it says, that's no asteroid evasive maneuvers, and then they like skirt out of the way. I love this. I love this so much. You guys are having fun with it.
mhm.
And they said last week at Gamescom, we had an intense but wonderful time but there was a huge surprise announcement. Team Cherry announced the release date for the long-awaited Silk Song, and we don't want to collide beak on, like head on, but beak on, with such a massive hyper supernova. Both games deserve their moment to shine, and we wish Team Cherry an amazing success. And honestly, we're super excited to play Silk Song ourselves. Yep. So that's just being delayed until September 10th. So, but that's another little cute little game that just wants to avoid being mished by the giant.
Yeah, I mean all these smaller games too. You want to make sure that they get their time to shine,
Hmm.
right? So probably
But
for the best
I feel like Silk Song's gonna dominate for
for a while.
a long, long time.
Yeah.
But maybe people will need like a palate cleanser in the middle of it after they've literally played the game for like 5 days straight and their family is like, "Where are you? And why haven't you fed the children? And you've been fired because you haven't gone to work."
Hmm.
Ages of Kataria. So this game, their early access was delayed. They don't mention Silk Song, but their date was previously September 16th. It is now November 5th, and they said that they wanted to delay because of, quote, to incorporate the feedback we received and make adjustments, polish more features, and add more cosmetics, and open the game up for more testing over the next few weeks. So they had a beta, and they
Hmm.
were getting a lot of really good feedback in that beta before they opened up their early access. So they, with all the feedback they got, they were like, duly noted, we need to take some time to fix some of these things. But also, they're going to have a demo on the Steam Next Fest, which is October 13th to the 20th. So that's also great for them because Steam Next Fest is like a really good way to get your game out. But I believe it's only for games that are coming out, not for. I guess they would have probably still done it anyway because they were just early access. But is this? Have you heard of this? Either any of these games, really? Little Witch in
I
the Woods,
have
Starboards, Ages of Kataria. Any of them
not
catch your eye?
not heard of any of these, to be 100% honest.
No worries.
Um, just the sheer concept of a little witch in the woods sounds the most intriguing to me. I will say the artwork for Starbirds is very cute,
Yeah.
very very goofy looking.
It
So
also
that one,
it kind of gives Factorio to me,
uh-huh.
and I had a lot of fun playing Factorio.
It reminds me, I hate this comparison. This is
Okay.
when you know you've been a parent for too long now. It reminds me of Octonauts. If any parent out there has
Yeah.
seen Octonauts,
Yeah.
like, yeah. Um, but I do not know anything about these games other than they've been delayed because of Silk Song.
Yep.
And
Cool.
yeah, so sorry, people.
Next up is Dolok Town. They have a new update out now. It is called the Pastoral Waves update. So this update includes adding new mechanics, adding some gameplay additions. I'm trying to see if there's anything about like controller support because I know that that's really important to a lot of people. A visual overhaul, world and economy adjustments, and then quality of life and bug fixes. I don't see anything. They might already have controller support. I was just seeing if it was in there. Sorry, I just like chugged a carbonated soda and my body doesn't know if it wants to yawn or burp right now. So I'm just like I'm having a time over here. Dolok Town added fish farming in this, which I thought I was like, oh, it's fishing and farming, but it also just says raise a variety of new land animals and fish. And that I was like, oh, it's like fish hatcheries. Like not and to me that's different than, in some farming games you can have a pond and then in that pond you can put fish and then the fish like auto generate and you get more fish.
Hmm.
I'm wondering if this is like more detailed than that because a fish hatchery is actually not something that people have really like done much of, but it's a legit thing that we can do for either to raise fish that we can then consume so that we're not devastating wild populations, or to try and rebuild wild populations and introduce genetics if there's like a disease that's ravaging a wild population and we can make a variant of the fish that is not susceptible to that or whatever. Like there's a lot of different things we could do. So
Fun fact, I've actually been to a fish hatchery before.
Pacific Northwest, y'all.
Years and years ago before I was vegan. Add that to
Yeah.
your Spencer lore. Um,
Lore
yeah,
girl.
we took a cruise to Alaska, and
Mm.
when I was a little kid, that was the last time I ever chose vacation too. My mom was not happy with that Alaska vacation. I was like, it's so fun. She's like, it's just wildlife, and I was like, yeah,
Yeah,
what's the problem
exactly.
with it?
Exactly.
But yeah, we stopped by a fish hatchery as one of the stops. It
That's
was
really
pretty
cool.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so that I love the idea of that, and I actually kind of want to see a game that is just a fish hatchery because there's so much to it. Because like you have to make sure that the pH of your water is just right, but also usually hatcheries are like open to the elements,
Hmm.
so you have to make sure that like invasive things don't get in and mess up your fish. You have to make sure that there's like so many different pieces to it that I haven't thought about for a really long time, so I'm not going to enumerate on them. But like that seems like it would be really, really interesting, possibly. Also, just like maybe trying to breed fish inside as well, because that is also incredibly difficult. Is there a fish breeding game? There has to
Um,
be. This is,
does Seaman count?
does it?
I don't know.
I see Fish Tycoon. I don't know if I would count this though. I mean, I guess it's a little virtual I don't know. This isn't what I was envisioning though. Um, Someone needs to get on that. So that's all I'll say. Our last two bits of news both have to do with Concerned Ape. Um, because we always have news. The first is Stardew Valley have is related to Stardew Valley. Concerned
Hmm.
Ape has released the Festival of Seasons album, and it is now out. It's on a link tree to a bunch of different sites, but also like I looked it up, it's on Spotify. And it's a lot of the music of Stardew Valley done by a chamber orchestra.
Hmm.
So I thought that was really cool. Um, Probably not going to listen to it. Not going to lie, both Harvest Moon and Stardew Valley, I turn the music off if I can. It distracts
That's
me.
fair, I guess.
Have you played Stardew? I don't know about the Stardew.
I have not.
Okay.
Um, I do keep seeing it suggested by people,
Yep.
and by people I mean Al. Sorry, Al.
No,
Uh,
it's good. I think that if you haven't gotten into it yet, there's almost like a worry
mhm.
because there's so much hype around it. Like, what if you don't like it? You know? And like it's so hyped. So I don't know. I think I would be really stressed if I were to try and play it now after never played it. Also, if you know that that's not your type of game, then you know.
Yeah.
Well then don't listen to this next no. The next thing is about Concerned Ape's next game, which is Haunted Chocolatier, and a new screenshot has been released, and Al wanted us to hyper analyze it.
Okay.
Um, so the first thing and this is a joke because this is what people do. Like a new game comes out or a new screenshot or a new like tiny, tiny little thing comes out because he wants to share like what he's been working on. And then
Mhm.
everyone is like, oh my gosh, is that a gate? Can you go over there? What's this? What are these trees? What are those mushrooms? And it's just like, guys, he's just showing you pretty, pretty pictures. And they're like, oh, there's no purple in this screenshot, so clearly he hates purple now. No. Though I did see a couple things that jumped out to me. On the main tree,
Are
that
you
is
talking? Okay, go ahead. I want to see if you're seeing what I'm seeing.
there is a little what I call a beetle gallery. So it's that is when like a beetle larva or sometimes an adult as well has burrowed under the bark, and there's this kind of like trail under the
Yes.
bark.
It's right next to the like that first little tree
Yep.
sticking out, right?
Yep.
Hmm.
Also wild that this tree has two trees growing out, two different species of trees growing out of it.
Yeah, that is a little concerning. But
I'm thinking
totally.
the main tree is probably dead because beetle galleries are not on the outside. They are underneath the bark.
Mhm.
So the outer layer of the bark was probably removed. And this is me getting really silly about the hyper analyzing
Well,
because
to go off that, right?
yeah.
Like let's say this is a live tree, but the outer bark was removed,
Yeah.
and they have two different tree species. Maybe someone's grafting trees onto this big tree. There
Very
you go.
possible.
Yeah.
That would actually be cool because there's also these like windows. What if there are like windows there, but they let a tree grow through the window?
Hmm.
And so there's just like a pot on the inside that where the root structures are. And what if you could make those roots into like furniture?
Mm.
Um, Another silly way to hyperanalyze this is the character is standing next to water, so maybe there's fishing.
Oh, there's always got to be fishing.
There's always got to be fishing. Also, I just am curious about who lives in this tree. I said maybe it's a spooky witch, but now I'm thinking it's like a plant breeder. There's
Maybe.
also a ton of different plants around this tree. There's also fungus growing on, like three different species of fungus at least growing on this tree. Um, I wonder if this person never leaves this tree. I wonder if higher up in the tree there's like fruit trees growing out of it, and they just never have to leave because they just like jump. Poke their head out a window and reach and like grab some forage off of their own tree. They never have to leave. That'd be so cool.
As someone who lives around or near giant redwoods,
Hmm.
who very much likes the idea of like the forest moon of Endor,
Okay.
I have always loved the idea of people just living in tree houses and
Hmm.
trees and massive tree structures. They're like, yeah, we just don't ever touch the ground. We're just in trees all the time. And
Yeah,
this is definitely giving me that vibe.
it is. Because you don't see the top of it. Like, there's no
Uh-uh.
indication that you're anywhere near the top of this tree that you can see. And it is taking up like the whole screen,
Hmm.
which is really cool. Um, the other thing that I wanted to bring up that you just mentioned is that you live in the redwoods. Fun fact, I saw a redwood fall when I was like 13.
Oh wow, like are we talking like how big?
Like a giant, like it was
Big,
huge,
big?
like a big, one of the big ones fell. We were near, I think we were staying in either Wairika or Eureka. I don't
Hmm.
remember which, but we were like in that area, like the Redwoods area. And we were camping in this one spot, but we had been like out and about during the day. And we were out letting the dogs run around and just taking a little bit of a stroll. And the dogs just like froze and then started freaking out. And we were like, what's going on? Holy crap. Like, did they see something? Are they running after something? What is going on? And then we heard this giant crack. And we just look, and there's all these trees, standing straight up. And there's just one that's just like falling. Like, it was pretty far away from us, but we still felt the earth shake. And when we went and looked, like, because it fell across the road.
Hmm.
And when we went and looked, like I didn't even really see it at first because it was just huge. Like I thought that I was just looking at like the road continuing on, but the road just like stopped at a certain point and there's just this giant tree. And then a couple of motorcycles like went zipping past and we were like waving them down. We're like, no, like, because I mean, you're not expecting that. You're not expecting the road to suddenly just become a huge freaking tree. We had to drive like 3 hours to get back to. We were only like 20 minutes from our campsite, and then we had to drive 3 hours to like get around this thing. But
Jeez, that must have been terrifying.
I thought of it more as like cool in the moment. We were far enough away. If we had been close, yeah, that'd be a devastating experience. I don't know if I would work in forests if
I
we'd
mean,
been close to that. But here I am, a forest entomologist. Um, yeah, it was nuts.
yeah,
Have you ever seen one fall? I want to
I
know if
have
those are
never seen
common.
the closest I've come, and not even a tree, is in the land of earthquakes over here.
Hmm.
I in high school was in marching band practice, so we're out on the stadium field,
Hmm.
and an earthquake happened, so all the stadium lights were like swaying like crazy, and
Wild.
just like standing there watching these tall like structures sway was like very unnerving.
Yeah. Huh.
So
Yeah, I'm gonna have to Google that. Like, if people see that, watched a redwood fall. I'm not gonna watch it right now, but I'm just gonna Google it so I don't forget. Because I would think that more people, that would be more common. Anyway, whatever. The last thing about the haunted chocolatier thing is that also as a part of this, Concerned Ape, you know how we just analyzed the crap out of this picture.
mhm.
Concerned Ape doesn't want people to do that. So like every time he just posts out something like this, like something tiny like this, there's whole entire articles about it. And he said, sometimes a picture is not him trying to like sneak something. It's literally just him trying to share a picture of what he's working on.
Yeah, some things are just things,
Yeah.
Take it for what it is, people.
Yeah. But I want to know more about this tree.
But
It
the
does,
tree is cool.
yeah, it's a cool tree. Okay, so now we are on our main topic. We have finished the news. Woo! So we are going to be talking about Tales of the Shire. Before we jump into the game, Spencer, just give us some of your like history with the content, like with Lord of the Rings and the Hobbits and stuff like that.
So I am a casual fan, I guess. I very much enjoy Lord of the Rings.
Hmm.
To be honest, this game for me, I downloaded mainly for my wife, who is
Okay.
a much bigger Lord of the Rings fan. I think I've bought her like five different versions of Lord of the Rings now at this point
Hmm.
for like birthdays and various other, we've got uh oh gosh, like the Tom Bombadil book that came out not too long ago, I think. Like
Oh.
she bought herself one and I bought her, so we have like two copies of that,
Hmm.
And, like she's like, I didn't know you were gonna buy it for me. Um anyway, so she saw this game. She's not a gamer at all.
Hmm.
Like but she saw it and she's like, I need to play this. It's like, okay, we'll download it when it comes out. But
Hmm.
since she's also not a gamer, she's like, well, you play it first. Like, I want to know, like, I want you to know, like, what to do, so that way you can like help me through it.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so I'll play it first, stuff. So that's kind of how I ended up playing this game.
Hmm. Okay.
Um,
Well, what are your first impressions then? We're being honest here.
yeah, okay. I don't know. I did enjoy it. So like, I always like to start off before I go into a bunch of complaints about things, say I
Yeah.
did enjoy this, right? Um, I kind of focus mainly on the main quest, so to speak. Are there quests in this game? I don't know what you'd call them, but
Yeah.
I guess quests. Mainly because, as I hinted about earlier, my time has been like very limited with. We just recently had another daughter, so now we have two
Yay.
children. Yeah,
Congratulations.
thank you. Um, so yeah, like free time is super limited in our house now.
Hmm.
So yeah, I just kind of focused on the main quest. You can tell that it's like, I guess not to put a price tag on like quality, but like a $30 game versus like an $80 game, in my opinion.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, the graphics kind of just right off the bat struck me as like Wizarding 101 for those of you that remember that PC game back in the day.
Hmm.
Very like that kind of feel. I was like,
Hmm.
huh, it's it's an aesthetic for sure. Is it one that I feels to me? I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah.
Um, what else? Main impressions. I enjoyed it. I think I don't know if we can save some of this for more of the meat of this,
Yeah.
but
For sure.
yeah, I think the thing that really like got to me was just how like time sensitive everything was, but I don't know how else to explain this, but like it's almost like you always had to have something going or
Mm.
else you're going to be like have a day where you just didn't do anything,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And we can get back into more about this in the mechanics, but like it just I always felt like, well, like shoot, I didn't plant vegetables, so now I got to just wait a day to do something.
Hmm.
Yeah, so anyways.
Yeah, I think that that's pretty classic because I we talked a little bit before about how you don't play a ton of cozy games.
Hmm.
And that, but I think that's pretty classic. Like the first time I played Stardew, I didn't know what the heck I was doing. So,
Hmm.
I didn't do a lot of the stuff that I do now that I know. Like if I do try and replay, I've only tried to replay it a couple times, but like I am more informed about what like the timeline of the game is
Hmm.
and what you have to have completed at what times. So,
Hmm.
now I do things differently. So I think that's pretty standard. I didn't really like the character models as much, but I was pleasantly surprised with the world.
Uh-huh.
Um, and I think I'm generally positive, but also like this game didn't knock my socks off.
Yeah, where are you on like Lord of the Rings fandom out of curiosity? Were you
Pretty high.
pretty high? Okay.
We just did. Johnny and I, in prep for this episode, but they were a while ago now, we did one episode on Lord of the Rings and one episode on The Hobbit, and we could have honestly gone on for a long time.
Hmm.
Yeah, like I'm pretty high on it. I mean, I didn't know that there was a Tom Bombadil book. That was pretty interesting to me, but I also am very busy. So, but I
I might
also
be misspeaking on that, by the way. I might totally be confusing it with some other thing.
no, it's
That
you. Probably not. I'll Google it, but yeah, I'm a fan, but like I'm a cat. Like I don't know if I would say casual even because I am pretty deep in the lore, but I guess I will just say I'm an ADHD fan
okay.
of everything. I think bugs is like one of the only things that I'm a constant fan of.
Hmm.
Otherwise, I'm a big fan of things until I look away from them, and then the love is still there, but the
The hype,
the
maybe not as
hype,
much.
yeah, the hype
Yeah.
is not there as
Yeah.
much. Though I guess I could hype about the game specifically. Yeah, I could hype all day. Like I could watch those movies anytime, any day.
Hmm.
But the lore of it, I is a little lesser.
Hmm.
So, but I was pretty excited to see kind of a little bit more of this world and see how they interpret it because I believe that they had some permissions from the Tolkien estate. So they were going to be able to do things in a way with like some of the IPs that other people might not have been.
Now, I was going to ask about that because there were some odd instances, like I guess since we're reviewing this, we can do spoilers, but
Yeah.
the game opens up with like Gandalf, I'm assuming,
Yep.
right? But he doesn't like explicitly say that he's Gandalf,
Hmm.
correct? But so it's like, okay, I guess this is Gandalf,
Yep.
maybe. But then, like, I think there's a couple times where they directly reference like hobbits from the
Yep.
books. So it's like, okay, well, they're name dropping these characters. Why aren't they name dropping these other characters?
Yep. Yeah, so I think that's one of the things that was kind of appealing, at least to me, because they do start name dropping people, and so I'm like, okay, where are we at in this timeline of just the Hobbit like lore? And where are we like where are the characters? Who is like which characters would be in the Shire? Which characters might have already left the Shire and gone on certain adventures, that kind of thing. Um, so which I think Bilbo would have this is me spoiling, but also like thinking about it because I read that Samwise Gamgee is mentioned, and he is only 38 when they go on in the Lord of the Rings. He's only 38 years old,
Hmm.
and the Bilbo's 111th birthday is 50 or 55 years after. Yeah, 55 years after because he was in his late 50s. So he would have already gone on his ring voyage at this point. The ring is in the Shire during this game.
Okay.
Um, but so they that's I think that's one thing that's like interesting is that they're name dropping, and so you can kind of try and like determine the timing based on that. But the one thing that someone did mention is they name drop, but you never actually get to meet these characters.
This is true.
So yeah. I mean, this is a little bit different. So this isn't the Shire as much. This is more Bywater, which is a little further away from the Shire. And you come in as like you say you're a hobbit from Bree and from like the Prancing Pony, which,
That also confused me. Isn't like, and this is my Lord of the Rings ignorance showing here.
yeah,
Isn't the Prancing Pony specifically like an inn? Like, did your Hobbit
correct.
work at the inn for like
There,
their lifetime?
there's some hobbits that live or used to live near there, I guess, because when they go to the Prancing Pony in Lord of the Rings, the the innkeeper is like not he's surprised about hobbits, but then he's like, "Oh, but we have accommodations for you and like we have hobbit-sized rooms." So they clearly hobbits are around and they know of them and they are like prepared to cater to them, but he also seemed a little surprised by them. So I'm not entirely sure about all that. But again, like I don't know how much of the IP they had and what all they were allowed to show.
Hmm.
So, I think the other thing before we get into like jumping into really diving into the game is a lot of the articles that came out right after this game came out were pretty heckin' negative. And I'm curious if you think just think about this, have this percolate in the back of your head as we talk about this. Do you think the negativity was warranted? So, just a couple things here that jumped out to me. Someone mentioned when you're gardening, things can grow out of season. So in something like Stardew, if you were to plant a carrot, and a
Hmm.
carrot takes 5 days to grow, but you planted it 3 days with 3 days left in the season, and it doesn't grow in the next season. When the new season starts, you wake up and there's a dead plant. Period. But in this
Okay.
game, it just makes it so that the timing is different. Like they grow slower in their off season,
Hmm.
which honestly makes sense. Like for example, I could have grown lettuce this year and I have lettuce. Actually, I also have tomato plants out there. They're green as heck because it's been way too hot for tomatoes this year. But I could still grow them. They're still growing. And so this person was complaining about it. They said it still removes the time management aspect crucial to farming game mechanics, the pressure of a season's last days. Will this crop be fully grown before the weather changes? Should I stick to seeds, which take 3 days, or risk one that takes five? How will this decision affect me next season? Banishing these worries may sound useful, but in truth, they destroyed any incentive I had for planning out my garden. I just say boo to that. If
Yeah, I mean,
if the only reason you're planning out your garden is because you're like of the time crunch, that's not what it's about.
are they trying to min-max this game? I mean, I guess
That's what it sounds like.
they could be.
But it's a cozy game. Um, yeah, I didn't think that was warranted. That's a no for me, dog.
Yeah.
Um, Then, related to cooking, they said, even as I unlocked more tools for my kitchen, I was never free of how trial and error the whole process felt. Welcome to cooking.
Okay, I kind of gotta agree with this one, to be honest.
Really? Okay, okay.
It
Warranted.
was it's just I don't maybe I skipped over the tutorial at the beginning,
Uh-huh.
but like it took me like a couple tries to realize like okay, like there's the weird little meter and when you do
Mm-hmm.
something to the food, it pushes the meter one way and you try to like aim for the target, but it
Mm-hmm.
also doesn't really like give you a good like let's say chopping for instance, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like when I was chopping food, I would be like, "Oh, okay, like I'm going to chop it to what it the target looks like it's over far. I try to
Yeah.
stop it right around where the target in my opinion was,
Mm-hmm.
and it would only bring my actual like meal cursor, I guess I don't know what you
Yeah.
call it, icon, over a little bit, and I was like, should
Mm-hmm.
I chopped it more? Like that would have been over chopping at that point,
Yeah.
and then so it was like so like kind of random guesswork in my opinion. I was like, all right, I think this is good, and then it like wasn't good enough or too far in that direction. I was like, oh well, maybe not.
Yeah, I think they could get around this by just adding in like a an update to the game that just makes it so that every time, not like every time you start chopping, like you start the chopping animation, but every time you hit the button to chop, it just moves it for you, like at that moment, versus
Yes.
like when you are done, you're at so you just start chopping and you're like button, 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 and the thing doesn't move. The thing moves when you're like, okay, that's enough chopping, but you also can't go back and say, oh, wait, no, I want to chop more. If it updated in real time, I think that would probably solve a
Yes,
lot
real
of,
time updating would definitely be like solve that problem.
which that is also relevant to cooking. I mean, you look at things as you go. Um, I hate cooking. Okay.
Oh, I love cooking. That's yeah. So
I'm always perpetually afraid that I'm going to burn something or forget something or whatever. I also hate spice. So, okay. The other thing is, they talked about So the first one I was like not warranted. This one to me I was like I was initially not warranted, but you've convinced me possibly warranted. This one I kind of agree. So there's a shared meal mechanic, and this person said dialogue, no. Fun interactions, no. The same cutscene over and over again, with the only differentiation being the venue and whether the hobbit likes the meal or not. Skippable, thankfully, yes. I
Um,
kind of agreed with that. Like after I did the shared meal a couple times, I was like, oh, nothing really like even the individual characters don't really have their own response.
the only thing I disagree about with this would be the worrying whether the hobbits like their own meals, because honestly, there were a few times where I'm like, I just simply don't have the ingredients to make a sour dish. So they're
Yeah.
getting a spicy dish. And they still seem to like it. And I was like, cool. I still got a gift from them. I still
Yeah.
got them to be happy. Like it didn't seem like there was any downside to me making a meal that they didn't necessarily want.
hmm
And I was
I
like,
think they'll
cool.
still give you the well, I think they hint that if you don't give a meal that they at least like I think if they say they want a sour meal and you give them a
Uh-huh.
sweet meal,
Uh-huh.
they'd probably be like, this is you did bad. Um, but like I think like if you're doing it in other ways, it's still good enough to them. I don't know. I'm gonna have to go and make a really bad meal for someone and see what they say because I'm
Yeah.
curious. I'm
Let's
curious
need
now if they
some.
just like storm off. Be
But
like, heck you.
I think I would agree with you and this comment on this one. It feels like a glorified gift system almost. Like
hmm
you're just gifting someone. Why do I have to go through this whole like dog and pony show of like chopping food
hmm
and making a meal and having all the ingredients, which by the way, the ingredients are like kind of obnoxious to come across, in my opinion. But then again, this is me coming from a not as experienced cozy game player,
Yeah.
right? Like,
hmm
if I'm sharing a meal and it's like, well, they want this bitter meal and it needs lettuce. Whoops, I haven't grown lettuce. So I
Yeah.
guess I gotta just make do without lettuce or something, or
I th
find another meal I can cook with the ingredients I have.
I think you can go buy it.
I can you? Does
I
the
think so. I think you go
maybe
down to the people in the village and you can buy
okay.
but it's not cheap. So then you're gonna have to go do stuff to get stuff to sell to then buy what the ingredient you need. But that's also life. Sometimes
Hmm.
you need that specific ingredient.
Yeah, that's true.
I really liked this next article. I really liked just their thing. They said Tales of the Shire wasn't the game I wanted to play, but the game I needed to play. And they said the mindset you have coming into a game makes all the difference, but I'm glad I let Tales of the Shire win me over. This is how I felt. Like I was ready, especially because there was a lot of negative reviews. Negative reviews. I was ready to come in and be like, I am so disappointed in this game. I was not disappointed in like I think that I was whelmed. Like I wasn't overwhelmed or underwhelmed. I was just like, this is a game. This is yeah. I don't think it was as bad as a lot of other people said. But I really like that, it has to do with the mindset you have coming into the game. And
Hmm.
if you're expecting like some it seems like some people were expecting certain things. And if you don't get those, like if you have that expectation, you're like, well, clearly I'm gonna see Bilbo and Frodo.
Hmm.
Don't have that expectation. I don't know.
Yeah, I definitely could see. I can see two mindsets being disappointed by this game. What you touched on just now, like
Mhm.
big Lord of the Rings fan expecting cameos and basically like really deep in Lord of the Rings
Mhm.
lore, so to speak. And then also from like it maybe a not as much Lord of the Rings fan perspective, but like I would say if this game came out, during like Animal Crossing,
Yeah.
lockdown era, this would have been perfect.
Yeah.
Just sitting near the little pond as a hobbit doing nothing, like slacking around for an hour.
Yep.
Amazing. But like here I am like playing this game on my lunch break because that's my free time now.
Yeah.
Like was not the same mindset that I would have had back then, and definitely not as like fostering, so to speak, for the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it really is just what you are wanting out of it. From the trailers, I knew that I wasn't going to be getting the like deep lore dive that I might have wanted in another life.
Mhm.
But I also get it. Um, so, the last article, this article I just want to mention because it's hilarious to me. So, um, I was initially like ready to throw down on this article because it's from Polygon and it says cozy, please. Tales of the Shire is a tragedy. And then they say bye 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 water. And then they start talking about the game a little bit and how it's friendly locales, da 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 da. Da. And they're going into the lore.
Mhm.
So in the Lord of the Rings books, there's a whole end part where Saruman comes to the Shire to like have revenge, basically. Like he doesn't die in the Lord of the Rings time, like or in like he does in the movies, at least in the extended edition of the movies. Like he goes back and like teams up with another hobbit and like does this what's called the scourging of the Shire, and there's a whole battle in Bywater. And so this article is about how like you move here, you're building up a house, but like he from the player's perspective knows that in like 20 years this entire place is going to get absolutely wrecked. And so I get it.
You know what? I mean, now that you tell me that,
Hmm.
it's weird. This almost makes me appreciate the game more. I hate to say it because
Yeah.
like I just I'm trying to think of what other media, maybe Red Dead Redemption 2 might be qualify as this, right?
Hmm.
Because it's like technically a prequel to one. So
Hmm.
if you've played one, you know what's going to happen,
Yeah.
right? But it's like, that mindset of like, oh, like I'm making such a beautiful life here that I
That
know
it's
is
gonna get
ultimately
ruined.
doomed to fail.
Yeah, so I saw this article title and I was like, "Oh, this person's way out of off base." And then I like read this article. So I'm going to share this article in the or go to the show notes and read this article if you want. If you're a big person, a big fan of the series, this is hilarious actually. Like, here's just one quote. Every time Old Noakes gifts me a fishing rod, I want to request a rifle instead. So definitely, I recommend reading this article. Just another funny thing. They seem fairly positive about the game, but then they get pretty meta.
Mhm.
So, okay. Let's just jump in a little bit more. So I wanted to have a spot where we could talk about the visuals, the soundtrack, and the story. I thought
Okay.
the visuals, except for the character models, I hate the character models.
They're
Um,
kind of weird. They are,
uh,
yeah.
But other than that, I thought the visuals of like the game itself and I think how things move is very pretty.
Hmm.
It did remind me of another game, and I never figured out what game, and just realized that I never figured that out. But so I've seen this before. Like it's not completely foreign. Yeah, go for it.
I definitely, yeah, you're just spot on. Character models, kind of whack, to be 100% honest.
Yeah.
They reminded me, like I said earlier, of like Wizarding 101 or some kind of like
Mm-hmm.
2000s free to play online like MMO for kids game,
Mm-hmm.
right? The landscape model, the it was, I don't know if I'd say hit or miss for me. There's one effect that I kind of appreciated the more I played it, which was like some of the smaller plants. I don't know how
Mm-hmm.
to describe this. Like, and I don't know if maybe I'm just crazy and I was seeing things that weren't there, but it was like if you had a small plant, the plant like visually from far away was not there. Like the draw distance was
Yeah.
like it just didn't, it wasn't appeared, didn't appear. And then as you got closer, like it sprouted out of the ground.
Yeah.
It wasn't just like it like appeared. It like actually looked like it was growing out of the ground
Yeah.
to full size.
Yeah, I saw that
Am I
too.
crazy? Yeah, okay,
No,
good. I was
it's
like,
a
yeah,
yeah.
and I thought that was very. It was almost like opening up a pop-up book, I guess,
Yeah. It was
which I
also
thought was
nice
cool.
because then those are often like some of those plants are the plants that you can interact with and you can forage.
Hmm.
And that, like, if you're running through the landscape, you want to know that. And I think until you've encountered a decent number of the plants, you don't know where they are or what they look like, but eventually they show up on your map. Like you can
Hmm.
Google it or not Google it. Oh my God. You can look it up on the map and it's like, oh, that's where elderberries are or whatever. Um, but the first couple times you find them, or even just until you know what they look like, or what to expect, you're kind of just running blind and you're like, okay, what part of the world is interactable versus just beautiful aesthetic?
Oh, thank God you brought up the map though, because as far as visuals go, that was the one thing I could not stand. Was they have this system when you're like looking for your quests or going to quest,
Yeah.
like you follow these birds, right?
Yeah.
And the birds, they chose blue. I do not know why they chose blue, but they decided on blue.
Okay.
And blue is so visually hard to see against like the rest of these colors in this game. Like if
Yeah.
it was like a red bird or something, great. That would have been so easy to spot. Just make the bird red. But no, they chose blue. And it's like I spent half of my time like, where'd the birds go? Are
Yeah.
the birds over here? Why like where where do I go? Like, oh, I guess the birds are behind me now. Like
Yeah.
it was, oh my goodness.
Well, and they put the birds on the signposts, and wherever the signpost is so if there's a signpost that has like four different directions and
Hmm.
there's arrows in the bird is standing on the one that is the direction you're supposed to go in. And they say that like they're like, oh, just follow the birds. But then sometimes the birds aren't on the signposts. They're like above a bridge or they're on another
Yeah,
part of the world or something. And I'm like,
or like
oh,
a
is that
broken
like
wagon wheel or something.
yeah, I'm like, oh, is that one of the birds or is that just a bird?
Yeah, the bird. I mean, you know what? I appreciate their commitment to keep you immersed in the game, but just
Yeah.
give me like an arrow. Like that's all I
Yeah.
want.
I I didn't even think about the menus and again until you mentioned it. But like the menus did not spark joy either.
Oh yeah, they were very. There were so many like I just got so confused clicking the correct or the
Yeah.
incorrect L and R's. And
Yeah.
out of curiosity, what did you play this on?
Switch.
Switch. Okay, yeah, I played it on Switch as well.
Which I don't play very often to start with
Mm-hmm.
because we kind of use the Xbox for everything. But I'm sure I will get deeper into this game at some point and it'll become second nature for me to use like those. But I didn't play long enough to have the system be like intuitive yet. So, um, the soundtrack, I mean, are you a audio person? Like, do you like soundtracks or think about soundtracks a lot?
Sometimes
Hmm.
this was very it was what it was. It
Yeah,
was the soundtrack.
I put sound and then I was like, wait, I don't remember it.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, I don't remember being like, well, that's weird. Like, I think it just had like cozy, like, oh, yep, I'm running around in a pretty landscape music.
Yeah.
Um, and then the story, basically, you're a hobbit from Bree, and you're coming to inherit. I think it's your uncle's whole. Oh, no, 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 it's a woman. It's an old woman who died.
It's Rosie, right? Isn't that what they
Yeah.
say? Yeah.
And she's people think of her very fondly. And so you are here, and you're trying to uncover the secrets of her house as you clean it up and unlock additional rooms and stuff. And then by also you try and like help them figure out how to make the village like a legit village.
Yeah, so that's I had to look this up. That is the main quest line, so to
Yeah,
speak, is getting the village to become a
certified as a village.
certified, which seems so weird to me, right? Like that seems like something like, well, don't they have rules and laws in place for this in Middle Earth? Like it seems like a no duh kind of like, well, we're either a village or we're not a village, right? But
Yeah.
they made the whole game out of it, I guess, and there's a whole I don't know.
I
It's
don't
just it seemed kind of like goofy to me.
so that's I think that's like part of the appeal though is like hobbits' lives are so easy that this is drama to them Because like half of the hobbits are like, we're a village, and the other hobbit half is like, we don't count as a village. And then they're like, okay, but like, there's no rule about like what counts as a village. And then they're like, yes, there is. And then they bring in like what the appraiser, I think is what they call him.
Hmm.
And that hobbit says that we have not yet like fulfilled the qualifications to be considered a village. And so that's the main quest is you're trying to meet those qualifications. Part of it is by kind of building more camaraderie and more community. So you start up these clubs. You also just try and like increase your friendships. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the other thing that struck me as odd about the story was like, why do some of these characters even care whether like most people are pretty like let's make a village, but then some characters are like, no, we don't want to be a like
Yeah.
what's the downside of like being a village? Like, do you want to stay unincorporated? Is this like a weird tax thing or something? Like, what's going on here?
Yeah. I don't know. But it's like it's totally the type of like small town politics busybodies versus like the people that I don't know. I get it. I get it. But it is also a little silly. But that's the thing. Like this is a cozy game within the world of Lord of the Rings in a cozy part of Lord of the Rings before the devastation that is the Battle of
Hmm.
Bywater. Um I do agree with the person above. The characters are a little bland. Other than like, oh, this guy's grumpy or, like that kind of thing. There's not much to it.
I'm This guy's grumpy. The whole town is grumpy. I felt
Yeah,
like
you're
I was in
right.
a village full of 60-year-olds. My goodness.
I
Like
mean,
even that the
probably.
happiest hobbit was still like grumpy for no reason.
Yeah.
I was like, what is going
They
on
have
here?
they have nothing else to spice up their lives. They have to be
No.
grumpy about something.
I will say this is I don't even know where we would talk about this, but one thing that I did find as a very interesting detail, and I didn't really do like very many side like meal quests, so maybe she dives into this more.
Okay.
Did you notice I'm not going to pronounce her name right. She's the foraging like club.
Delphinia or whatever.
Yeah, Delphi, I think is what they call her or
Yeah.
something. Did you notice she has a peg leg?
No.
Yes, she's missing one leg.
Oh my gosh. I'm Googling it. What is this game called? Tales from the I was so focused on her name. Delphinium Brandybuck. Oh my gosh. Okay, this is yeah. Yeah. There's nothing else about her. It just says what okay. Oh wow. That's amazing. I want the deets. Does she mention why or anything?
I never found any other information. I just was walking behind her one day and I was like, wait a minute, what is this?
Yeah. Well, that's cool. Well, now I'm curious. Cool. We love to see it.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay, so the different mechanics in the game. Well, let's just start with foraging because it's very, very simple.
sure. Just run
Um,
around and grab things.
you sure do be grabbing things. There's like flowers, there's berries, there's wood. Um, yep.
There's spices, there's
Yeah, spices. These are just things
they
that are growing wild. You don't have to do anything. They do be growing.
they do add a little bit of an element of like to help you search like butterflies that like fly
Yeah.
over to things, which I guess are kind of nice. You know, every time I saw like a butterfly group, I would be like, oh, okay, where lead me to my spice.
Where I go. Yeah, the
Yeah.
butterflies were really cute. You basically follow like if you see a bunch of white butterflies or something, you're like, oh, they're gonna lead me to something. Like you know that there's a something around you that is blooming or something. And then you follow them and then
Uh-huh.
they show you, oh, there's also mushrooms. Yeah, you follow
Uh-huh.
them and they show you whatever it is. Yeah, they're pretty cute.
Yeah.
And that's foraging.
Yep.
Pretty self-explanatory. I mean, I guess you use the stuff for cooking, and then the wood you can use to either trade or it's like part of a quest, that kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
Another thing that you can do before cooking is gardening. So you start with a couple plots, but then you can also build plots, buy plots, and they're really just these little beds, basically, of that have soil in them. There's a bunch of different like models of them, so you can really customize it quite a bit. And you can put either just one thing in there, or you can actually put multiple things in there. You're
So this
laughing.
is, I am laughing because it's so goofy to me. Thinking of real world gardening versus, I know this is a video game, so don't jump on me about this. But
Okay.
okay, because you get at one point you get a quest like grow a 2-star vegetable. Cool. You find out if you grow vegetables near each other, they like if they're compatible, they'll
Yeah.
like basically boost each other, right? I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, great, right? And this is also where I found out at least like, oh, like because you start out with little raised bed garden plots.
Yeah.
And I assumed that you had to use one vegetable in one raised bed.
Oh,
But no, you can like scoot the cursor as close as you can to the corner
yep.
and like shove 4 vegetables in here, right?
Yep.
And that's so silly to me because it's like it gives you the little like area that the vegetable needs to grow, and if it
Mm-hmm.
overlaps with another vegetable, you can't grow it that close. But then it has no regard for the fact that you're right up against a wall of a garden bed. You could be
Yeah.
smack dab in the corner and real life vegetable would be balling its roots like
Yeah.
crazy against it. But nope, it's totally fine. You can shove as much stuff as you want right up against the wall.
It's just the plants can't touch each other.
Yeah, I was laughing the whole time I was doing that.
Yeah. I think I got put two in there, but I never put in more than two.
Oh, I managed to get 4 in there.
You slammed them in.
Yeah,
Sounds like you were min-maxing a little
maybe a little bit.
bit. But yeah, like as you do it, you learn what the different companion plants are. You just kind of have to do it and see what happens. And I do kind of like that about the game, like that you kind of just, heck around and find out.
Hmm.
Um, and I thought it was nice. It was a little weird. Like I was a little unsure. Okay, like how many days does this take? How many days does this take? And you just learn as you go. Or like I think some people will tell you around the town, and maybe you can get information that way. But it is kind of just a mess around and find out.
Yeah, this whole game is very vague on a lot of details, to be 100% honest.
Hmm. Which is
So,
fine. Sometimes that's how it be. They
mhm.
don't have Google.
No,
But I mean, I didn't have anything fail. Did you?
I did not.
Also, how
Um,
far in did you get?
So I did a couple of the side quests. I tried, like I said, mainly focusing on the town quest,
Are you still in the same
and
season?
I think I just switched to the next season.
Okay. I'm not there yet.
Um, I got to right after. So they say that like your town isn't a town, and they give
Hmm.
you a list of things to require. One of them is having a wolf head over like
Yes, I
yeah.
got that and I was like, what?
Yeah, so I finished that,
What
and
do
then
you
I started.
do?
Yeah,
You just
I
have to go
started.
kill a wolf or?
Oh no. So what happens is, you basically have who is the one that like sews clothes and stuff, furniture or whatever.
I know who you're
They
talking
like,
about.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. They like make a fake wolf head,
Okay,
and
okay.
you have to collect material to make a fake wolf head,
Okay,
and they
good.
just hang it up, and it's. I don't know if I want to spoil it. There's like kind of a funny thing with hanging it up, and they're just like ah whatever, it is what it is, and they all walk
Hmm.
away, and then the quest is complete. So so that is where I finished. I think the last quest is like something about fighting a goblin. I didn't quite get there yet.
Okay,
Yeah.
interesting. Um, yeah, the wolf head thing was a little silly to me.
Hmm.
I was like, wait a minute, what the heck? It's like, how am I even gonna fight? There's no fighting mechanic in this game.
No, so what happens with the wolf head is you go around to like different older villagers
Uh-huh.
and ask. They're like, no one's ever seen a wolf except for maybe old Noakes or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
So you ask them like, well, what does a wolf look like? And they'll give you like a vague description, but not quite a complete description. So
Yeah.
then you get like this amalgamation of like what 5 different people said a wolf looked like.
Okay. That's
like
pretty cute.
combined into this one wolf head.
That's pretty cute.
Yeah.
Cool. And then the next things after you get your so you have your gardening, you've gardened some stuff, you foraged some stuff. I guess another thing to get stuff before cooking is fishing.
Hmm.
I did really like that mechanic. They have the like you throw your so there's like little circles that tell you where the fish are, and then there's little you throw your hook your thing out, and as the more you hold it, the farther out it goes. And then as you reel it in, you're supposed to like pull the opposite direction and you could break the lines. I thought it was more involved, but like less difficult. Or it was, yeah, it was not as difficult as like Stardew.
Hmm.
So I really
It
liked it.
definitely, from at least the fishing mechanics that I've played in various games, it definitely felt the most like intuitive. Maybe not
Yeah.
the most. Maybe I'm giving it too much credit. Most intuitive might be a lot, but it definitely felt intuitive where you're
Yeah.
like, okay, yeah, like pull away from the direction the fish is going, and then
Wow.
like release the pressure if it gets too much. Like
Yeah.
it made sense, and it was a new mechanic to me, but it was also one that I like picked up right away.
Yeah.
You know, some games I feel like you're like, oh man, new fishing mechanic, and you have to like spin around 10 times before you do this and that, and like, oh,
Yeah.
so.
I definitely agree. I think it was pretty intuitive and
Mhm.
like I mean, this is how you fish. This is what fishing is.
Yeah.
So, um, and then you can get different fish. I don't know if like if you fish in different areas, you get different things.
I believe you
Um,
do.
okay, because I haven't fished in too many areas.
Yeah.
So,
I fished in a couple areas.
okay,
Not too many, but
cool.
yeah, I definitely got different fish per area though.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And then uh so now you got your fish, you got your stuff that you gardened, you got the stuff that you forage, like the spices and stuff, and now you get to cook. The cooking is I see what they're trying to do.
Yeah. I mean, we kind of touched about this earlier. You get like this like is not even like a meter, right? It's almost like one of those like you have like one axis which is like
Yeah, it's like a graph.
yeah, it's too much math for cooking in my opinion. First off,
Yeah.
there should not be graphs involved when you're cooking,
Yeah.
right? And so one axis, I think it's like the y-axis is like tenderness
Hmm.
or something,
Yeah, like how
and then
either it's texture, so it's like how choppy versus how
smooth.
smooth something is. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the other axis is like how like cooked versus how uncooked it is.
Hmm.
And they put a target on this graph and you want to get your meal there and your meal is like randomly somewhere else on the target, so then you have to like prepare your food to scoot your meal icon over to the target
Hmm.
to make it a better. But then some things are like some of the meals have you put milk in and you can't do anything to the milk, so there's a
Yeah.
whole ingredient where you're just like cool, like can't do anything to that, so I just gotta hope that my one rhubarb that I gotta chop and cook brings it over.
Yeah. But I mean, even if you just do it the bait, I think that that part only increases the star quality.
Hmm.
And then I guess it also, like, depending on how spicy it is or whatever, like how that's how bitter or sour or sweet or spicy it is. But that also is with the ingredients you put in. So if you use like bitter berries versus sweet berries, that will impact a lot of that stuff.
That's yeah, that's something I also didn't realize. I don't think they explained very well,
They
honestly. And
don't.
like they
Yeah.
like I started noticing like, whoa, wait, this fish has a sweet taste and this fish has like a bitter taste, and I can use the fish in the same meal, so like that changes the meal from bitter to sweet. Like,
Hmm.
and then like once you realize that, that opens up a lot of cooking possibilities. Because when I initially started cooking, I was looking specifically for ingredients for
Hmm.
specifically bitter recipes. And I was like, oh man, I don't have lettuce or I don't have whatever.
Yeah.
But then I realized, like, oh, there's some recipes that change based off of what kind of ingredients you add.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, it's just not that this is not intuitive.
it is not.
I feel like they could make it a little bit better.
Hmm.
Um, and then
Well, once you're done with cooking, you
yeah,
gotta
exactly.
share the meals with people.
If you have friends, I don't
Oh
know what
yeah.
that's like, but if you, no, I'm kidding. If you have friends, you can share the meal. So this is how you increase your friendship with other people, and you kind of learn more about them as they do it. And in the letters, I think they talk about kind of more about themselves in the letters a little bit, if I'm remembering correctly. And so it's basically this shared meal mechanic where you write them a letter inviting them, but you don't do much to the letter. You just say, "Hey, I want to invite and it always has to be two people, which I kind of hate. What if I wanted to share the hot goss with just Orlo?"
Hmm. Yeah, it kind of puts the pressure on too because now you have to have like two. So this is my biggest issue with this game. All
Hmm.
right, this is my hot take.
Okay.
Like the friendship meal sharing is a big part, and to
Hmm.
do that you have to have meals, and to have meals you have to cook, and to cook you have to have ingredients. So if you like, you have to start stockpiling all of this stuff so much to
Hmm.
like have meals on rotation. Because like there was so many times where I was like running around like, oh man, I just got to catch like a fish so I can make a meal, hopefully, so I can have a shared meal with people.
Yeah.
And it was like, man, I like just need to constantly have things in the garden growing, so I have like just tons of potatoes and lettuce in
Yeah.
case I need to do a meal or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess it felt to me very much like if there was like any remotely weak link in this chain of
Yeah.
like what you needed to do to have the shared meal, like the whole system fell apart.
Yeah. I think I wasn't trying to make sure that everything happened at the same time. And
Uh-huh.
I would like you said, you would make something that wasn't someone's favorite. Like I wasn't trying that hard to make sure that I made someone that I knew someone would like,
Hmm.
just as long as it was not the opposite of what they asked for.
Yeah, I mean, at one point I just gave up trying to please them, and I was like, "You're getting a meal."
You're getting a free meal out of this. Why are you complaining?
Yeah.
Valid. Um, so yeah, I think that I wasn't really thinking that much about like, oh, making sure I have everything, like one of everything growing and stuff like that. I was just kind of taking it really loosey-goosey.
Hmm.
But I could see the stress of that, where it's like, oh, I need it. And if you invite someone, it doesn't really tell you what people like until you ask them to come. And then so you send a letter to them and you're like, hey, I would like it if you came to my house. And then you get a letter back and they're like, that sounds great. I'm really looking forward to a spicy meal. And
But mind
then
you, this letter that you get back telling you what they want is the day of.
the day of,
The day of, right? Like, hey, by the way, get me something spicy. Oh,
I want
cool.
the
Like,
spicy thing.
I hope I
Yeah.
have something spicy in the pantry already.
Yeah. Um, So, well, or that you have all of the stuff ready for that specific meal. Um, that like if they want, I don't know where my brain is going right now. I'm a little potato. All the potatoes are in my head. I mean, I kind of liked it because as you increase the friendship, like they give you things. They either give you, I think there's like clothing items, but there's also items to decorate your hobbit hole.
Oh yeah, the furniture.
Yeah, the furniture or like things that just accentuate your home. Um, and this, contrary to like every other game I've ever played, this was my favorite part of the game.
The
Was
decorating,
the
interesting.
decorating, which is ridiculous because I never like decorating mechanics. I never give two hoots about decorating, but how detailed you can get on decorating this thing, I'm so here for it. I was having a blast.
Interesting.
Did you do much decorating?
I did a tiny bit, I'll be honest.
Okay.
I am the kind of person that you walk into my Animal Crossing house and there's like a chair
Yeah.
and a bunch of stuff just pushed up against the wall. There's a bunch of fish that I'm gonna sell in a day or two, and that's about it.
Mm-hmm.
So when I went into this decorating like mechanic, right? And I
Mm-hmm.
saw that you can like very finely tune a single pot on top of a table. I was
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, this is too overwhelming. This is already too overwhelming for
I'm
me.
out.
Yeah, I'm down. I'm good.
Okay.
I don't need to put like glasses shelf
Yeah.
at the right angle.
Yeah.
I think I cleaned off the ivy from the outside of the house
Mm-hmm.
and made it green, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I cleaned a lot of stuff there. Because you can also just edit even without having to like have materials, you can just edit like the vibe, like if it's more metal, like more stone or more wood or more ornate or whatever, like you can just do that, which I really liked. Um, I like cleaned the crap out of my house because the
Hmm.
house when you get it is like full. I mean, it has like a nice scholarly feel. It's full of scrolls and books and stuff, but there is no method to that madness.
Oh, there's like
Um,
clothes strewn everywhere. There's like
yeah,
random like bowls on the ground.
I cleaned
It,
that up.
it makes me wonder if realtors exist in like Middle Earth because it doesn't seem like it.
No, I think
There
it's
was
just family members and
no staging done to this house whatsoever before they
no,
sold it.
no. Um, and so yeah, it was pretty whatever. So I cleaned that, and then I started getting other things. Some of the stuff you clean up, you can then I then use to redecorate. But then other things, I was actually looking because you can see in people's like player profiles, you can kind of see what they're gonna give you.
Hmm.
Um, and so I was like, oh, I should invite this person because the next thing they give you is this couch I want. Like I was genuinely, I was shocked that that was the part that drove me in this game, but I really enjoyed it.
Oh wow.
I liked the variation. I liked the different modifications you can do. I don't know. It did actually spark joy for me.
Interesting. I was like I said, I was pretty neutral on it. I could see how someone would get super deep into it, and I can definitely appreciate that for them. For me, I don't know if it's necessarily my thing. You know,
Hmm.
I'm someone who gets overwhelmed easily. I see like five sliders on like character customization screen, and I'm like, all right, just give me a default then.
Hmm.
So, um, but it definitely, I was surprised at how, even just with like moving things around, how detailed you could get. Because
Yeah.
like, I'm so used to like a grid system where it's like, okay, just put this here or rotate it 90 degrees. But no, you could like really, really fine tune where you want everything
Hmm.
and what you wanted.
I appreciated that.
Hmm.
Um, I really like when because I know Sims did that after a long time, like near the end of, like near the more recent stuff, like they got off of the grid system,
Hmm.
and they made it so that, and you can do that here as well. And it kind of opens up a whole new way for you to put stuff. Because sometimes I'm like, I don't, this grid, the way the grid wants me to do this is just not the way that I would decorate this. So I'm
Yeah.
not gonna do it. But having that freedom really made me go for it. So,
Oh, wow.
um, and that I think that's for me, like it as I continue playing, that's gonna be my main driver is okay, how do I get more stuff? Also, unlocking more of the rooms. I have not unlocked any new rooms in this house, and I want to see all these extra rooms. So that's another push. But I might
Yeah,
have to
just,
wait until I have time to like really dedicate to this game.
hmm
So
yeah, you move into this house and like there's like tons of like rooms blocked off and like areas blocked off. So,
yeah,
yeah, but
just lame.
hmm
Let me into my rooms. This is my house. I do what I want. So cool. Well, do you have any final thought? Who would you recommend this to? Are you gonna recommend your wife play it?
we were talking about this. So, to prepare her, because I mentioned before she's not really a gamer, I was like,
Hmm.
play like Animal Crossing or something first, maybe. Like, just play a game,
Hmm.
maybe. Right. So she's been playing a lot of Pocket Camp.
Okay, yeah.
Um, and she's enjoying it.
Yeah.
I was surprised she stuck with it for a while actually. Um, and I told her I was like, like maybe game wise you might enjoy Animal Crossing more, but I know you love Lord of the Rings, so
Hmm.
maybe. I don't know if you're gonna get enjoyment out of this game as much as a Lord of the Rings fan.
Hmm.
And you have to be maybe the right kind of Lord of the Rings fan too, because if you're looking for that deep, deep lore
Yeah.
and those like character cameos like we were talking about, you might also be disappointed.
Yeah, you're probably not going to get that,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
So,
So I mean, yeah, kind of that middle ground fan,
mhm.
maybe,
Yeah, that's good.
I would
I
say.
would
I
I
would,
would I would say the same.
yeah.
I think that it's enjoyable. I think if you're wanting like a lot of depth, maybe even a lot of direction, probably not the best. It doesn't give you a ton of direction for how to do certain things. So,
Yeah, I would definitely recommend if you are someone that has time to just goof around in a game,
yeah,
this might be the game for
and
you.
just find out, like just do
Mhm.
things and see what happens
Yeah.
for sure. Cool. Well, that is our Tales of the Shire. It's pretty, would you agree you're whelmed?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty much exactly what I expected. I don't
Yeah.
think I was going in with crazy expectations, and I wasn't leaving crazy disappointed either. So,
Yeah. Well, where can people find you on the interwebs?
oh, that's a good question.
Or can they
I
not?
I mean, they used to be able to find me on Instagram at spencer.cooks, but fair warning, people, I have not posted anything in so long. It might as well be defunct by this point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't used social media in a good hot second.
It'd be that way
So,
sometimes.
yeah.
Well, I am also on Instagram, hiking beagle, Eagle. I'm on Blue Sky at Cody Mathis, which is just my name because I like to dox myself. And more importantly, you can find the podcast on multiple things. It's on Tumblr and Blue Sky at THS Pod. You can find feedbacks and links and transcripts and things like that at harvestseason.club. Also at the harvestseason.club, you can find a link to our Patreon. Patreon.com/THS pod is the link to that. And with membership to the Patreon, you get to see the pictures of all of the any cool things that we're gonna share. Maybe I don't want to say what the topic of the next greenhouse is, but I'm super stoked about the greenhouse that's coming out of this
Mm,
episode. And there will be photos related to that greenhouse. Also, if you are not subscribed, you don't get access to the greenhouse.
oh,
So another reason to subscribe. Because I think it was really fun.
it
I'm excited.
was.
I'm excited to see what people say about it.
I am super stoked to see. I had a very fun time doing the greenhouse with you. Not that I didn't have a
Hmm.
fun time doing this episode too. It
Yeah,
was a good time doing both.
yeah, for sure. We gotta do more.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you, Spencer, for joining.
Thank you, Cody, for hosting.
Hmm. And until next time, listeners, have a
Have a good
good harvest.
harvest.
The Harvest Season is created by Al McKinley, with support from our patrons, including our pro farmers, Kevin, Stuart, and Elisa. Our art is done by Micah the Brave, and our music is done by Nick Burgess. Feel free to visit our website, harvestseason.club, for show notes and links to things we discussed in this episode.
Okay, what do you want to try again?
Sure.
Have
Have
a
a
good.
good harvest.
Al gets to have fun trying to put that
All
together. Or you could just leave it the way it is.
right.
I don't know. Okay, well, that's it. That's the tweet.